Old guns seized from these three anti-Balakas on a motorbike on the road to Cameroon. The Rwandan contingent of MISCA, the African-led international support mission to the country, disarm wherever they can.
It's a 12-gauge. A lot of people have them.
Anti-Balaka fighters like these are mostly Christian peasants. They've turned their hunting guns on the mainly Muslim former Seleka rebels, sometimes to defend their villages.
It's evidence.
These MISCA soldiers are heading deep into hostile territory. 600 kilometers west, including 100 of no man's land. Their destination, the Cameroonian border. Nobody's taken this route for more than a month. We roll past an endless succession of burnt-out villages and looted houses. The area's in the hands of the anti-Balakas. In one of the vehicles, Christophe and Thomas, former French soldiers who've now turned to humanitarian work. They negotiate and secure operations for the World Food Programme. This time, their mission's to retrieve aid trucks stranded at the border.
The slightest provocation, and he'll go right for our tyres.
At each anti-Balaka roadblock, there are more and more fighters. The MISCA troops order them to hand over their weapons. They comply. Or mostly. When an anti-Balaka fighter opens fire, he's shot down by Rwandan soldiers. No time to lose, the convoy heads off again into the bush. It's the only incident during the journey. After 2 days on the road, the convoy reaches the border town of Biloko. The aid workers go off in search of their trucks.
18306 is this one. 18306 BG. But that one, what state's it in? Has someone stolen the fuel? Is it all right? It's all right. So they're ready to head back to customs.
The lorries, around 20 of them, have been parked here for several weeks, stranded by the fighting and massacres. Under their tarpaulins, tons of urgently needed humanitarian aid. But the anti-Balakas must still be persuaded to let the convoy pass.
We're going to get the drivers to come back, and we'll also be joining other trucks at the other side. We're going to form a convoy and go back to Bangui.
No problem.
At each stop, Christophe updates the main office in Bangui on the convoy's progress.
We're in Biloko. Now we're heading to the border. We've spoken with the people at the barriers so that they'll let us pass. It seems to be going well. They understand what's happening.
At the Cameroon side, the drivers are nervous. They fear for their lives and refuse to set off.
We have a rapid response force.
A Congolese officer from MISCA tries to reassure them with the help of a little invention.
We're also able to have a helicopter sent in case of any incidents on the road.
90% of drivers are Muslims. All Muslims are in danger over there. They're being cut to pieces right in front of MISCA and Sangaris. And they're not doing anything to stop it.
No driver will be left behind. We've come here. This operation's no joke.
After lengthy discussions, morning comes, and the convoy's almost ready to leave, only to be held back by latecomers.
We're leaving at 12, so they have 12 minutes to get here. It's their last chance.
There are some last-minute adjustments. The convoy will include some 50 French army supply vehicles and only a third of the humanitarian trucks.
It's disappointing for us. A lot of trucks have still been able to pass, but it's still disappointing. We're now looking into an airlift, something we wanted to avoid, but at this rate, we won't be able to avoid it.
They finally hit the road, 3 hours late. Around 30 civilians climb aboard, taking advantage of the convoy to return to Bangui. Shopkeeper Blanche and her relatives have been stuck in Cameroon since the 5th of January.
That's my sister, my other sister, and that's my brother. That's my mother and my little sister, and my other brother. There's a crisis in Bangui. There's no salt, no rice, not even any soap. We wanted to come back with supplies to help families, but the road's been closed for 2 months.
They're going home in hopeful spirits, dreaming of political stability now that a woman's leading the country.
We're happy. We're happy we're going back to Bangui today. We're glad it's Catherine Samba Panza. We're very happy.
But these women won't reach Bangui. Their truck will plunge into a ravine. There will be one survivor, and no news of the rest. To reassure passengers, soldiers patrol alongside the convoy. But Christophe is concerned.
There are some individuals that arrived on foot. They seem to be armed. So the escort asked them to leave and asked all the drivers to go back to their vehicles. We don't know where we are, how many people may be around.
150 kilometers into the journey, there have already been 2 serious accidents. Luckily, the military ambulance is on hand. A man fallen victim to an exaction is given medical attention.
We found him on the road to Baoro. His leg was cut in the religious clashes between the Muslims and the Christians.
Yet another checkpoint, yet more negotiations. Still 200 kilometers to go to Bangui. Anti-Balaka's crowd round. The atmosphere is electric.
Basically, you have an anti-Balaka village, a Muslim village, another anti-Balaka village. There are hundreds of people ready to fight. It's Sunday, and everyone's drunk or stoned. It's extremely difficult.
We respect the hierarchy, all right? It's not worth your bother talking to everyone. It's me you need to listen to.
Christophe tries to smooth things over, but a soldier weighs in clumsily.
Please, before you arrived, if we hadn't taken control of the road, who knows who could have come this way?
Clashes are narrowly avoided. As the second day on the road draws to an end, the convoy is making slow progress. Everyone is exhausted.
Don't think about tomorrow.
The drivers haven't taken this road for months. Anti-Balakas are hunting down anyone who's Muslim.
Look what they've done to the mosques.
You see this road? All the mosques here have been destroyed. We Muslims have always lived here. Where do they expect us to go?
We've always lived side by side. Here there are Muslims and Christians within the same families, women and children. But now, just look at it. The country is in a pathetic state.
This road is crucial to the functioning of the country. The very survival of the capital depends on it.
We are the ones crossing the country. Everything inside these containers is what is needed to reconstruct it. If there's not sufficient security in place for us to do so, how is the country going to work?
After a 3-day journey, the convoy arrives in Bangui. Despite several breakdowns and accidents, only one of the 70 lorries that left the border is missing. Both drivers and civilians are relieved, but now must face a capital scarred by violence.